Come on, everybody. Let's get motivated. Help me out, Shia. Do it! Just do it! Don't let your dreams be dreams. Yesterday, you said tomorrow. So just do it! Make your dreams come true! Just do it! Some people dream success. Well, you're gonna wake up and work hard at it. Nothing is impossible. You should get to the point where anyone else would quit, and you're not gonna stop there. No, what are you waiting for? Do it! Just do it! Yes, you can! Just do it! If you're tired of starting over, stop giving up. I need to get better with his hand motions and then the do it. He squats down a little bit with it. So I'll continue to work that up slowly with a metronome, to get better at impersonating Shia LaBeouf. Morning, everybody. For those of you who are like me and obsess over my website, I simplified things. So I made a little bit easier in the menu up top here. This is basically here for SEO, so search engine optimization, to make it easier for YouTube, Google, whatever, to go, hey, this is what this page is about. But this header is now a little bit different in terms of what the categories are. I took the marching bass out of the technique section and made it its own thing. And then instead of being called drum kit limb independence, I'm just calling it limb independence. And so I just moved these sections around a little bit. They're all still free, all of the content, etc. And then the tips and lessons section, I've got this header that has the books and gear I recommend, this playlist that has just under 8 hours of drumming tips and whatnot from these streams. I pulled them out of there and put them into those shorter videos. Here's the full streams, including the one I'm doing right now. Woo! So you can see all the prior streams. There are timestamps in there to help figure out what it is that I worked on. There's over 300, I think, videos. And then the percussion dictionary, which I've had on my website for quite some time, but I haven't really mentioned it much. So this header is now here, and then the shorter scripted videos and whatnot are there right underneath this. So organizational improvements overall, trying to simplify things, make it easier to navigate. This looks a lot better on mobile, just having this like that. So hopefully you're able to notice and appreciate that as well. Today, I'm going to be refining my Flam 5s. Why? Because they're not as good as I want them to be. So what I'm going to actually do is I'm going to warm up with an exercise, I can't speak, called slow, fast, slow. Now, this exercise makes it so that it starts off at 40 beats a minute and then goes to whatever the maximum BPM is that you set it for. So in this case, I'm going to set it for 140, which should be a nice, comfortable tempo. So we go down all the way down to the technique stuff, and slow, fast, slow right here, boop, takes you into the video, or sorry, the playlist, I forgot. There's a 8th note, triplet, and 16th note versions of this that are going to be coming out soon. I think in the next week or two, I forget. I got so much content. There's like 180 videos scheduled, so stay tuned for those coming out. But this version is just the click track, basically. You go into the timestamps, and then you just tell it what is the starting tempo. It's always going to be 40. What's the maximum tempo? And then it tells you the ending tempo again. So it's going to go from 40 all the way up to 140, and then all the way back down to 40. And this is going to take me about a little over 10 minutes to actually get through it. So let me turn up the volume, pump it up, and let's warm up with some Flam 5s. My wife agrees. All right. Now, the other variations of this will play 8th notes, triplets, or 16th notes just to help you with the M-tempo a little bit. This one just plays the click. And then there's the opposite version of this, which does fast, slow to fast. Oh, man, I wasn't paying attention. Can't hear it. Hold on a second. It's too quiet. just get myself set up. So I'm specifically working on these because yesterday when I was playing, my left hand was tightening up on the Flam 5s. So we're going to do this to warm up. It'll give me some data with what changes in my hands as I'm going through this, as it slowly speeds up. So simultaneously a warm-up and a way to collect some data on your playing. You can do this with a drum pattern on drum kit. Just loop a measure over and over. You can do this with a rudiment, a measure that's difficult on show music or whatever. After this, we're going to do stretch and massage. Man, talking always messes me up. And then we're going to work on Flam 5 Builder, which came out like a week or two ago, at least publicly. We've got all those members' videos that are members first. Woo-wee, triple digit, whoa! So once it gets to 140, it's going to hold it there for 4 measures, so a total of 16 counts, and then it'll slow it back down by 1 click at a time, all the way down to 40. My nose is getting itchy. Gotta resist the urge to scratch it. And now it's gonna hold. And then get slower here. Sorry, I have to. My nose gets so itchy when I do these drum streams in the morning. Might also be the dog hairs that have like stuck to the microphone. It's like itching my nose. Whoops. Screwed up my playing. Whoa, thumb came off the stick. Whoopsies. Thank you for the like. Welcome back. So once this slows all the way down to 40 again, we'll start your massage. Wow, over 200 likes already. Woo-wee! Appreciate it. Hello, good morning. I feel like my computer's being quiet this morning. It's harder to hear the clicks. I even moved my like speakers closer. This is the Off-World Invader drum pad, and it's on top of the Vic Firth Quadro pad. If you go to /gear on my website, it has the sticks I'm using, the pad I'm using, the mic I'm using, the cameras, all that. So I think you're on vertical where it says /drum. Just change that to /gear, and that'll show you. Almost there. Rushing. Did a invert Flam 5. Inverted the diddles. Whoopsie. Alright. Last one. Sweet. So that is slow, fast, slow. And again, the opposite version of this goes from fast to slow to fast. And you can find that under the newly organized website underneath the technique stuff. So if you scroll down past all of these, In the technique section, fast, slow, fast is the opposite of what I was just doing, and then slow, fast, slow. Let's stretch and massage now. And then we're going to work on the Flam 5 builder, which is a great exercise for working on building your Flam 5s up, getting used to them. So it isolates out the hand, and it slowly adds in one left hand at a time until you get both, and then it removes one right hand at a time until it's just the left hand. So it's a way to work on both hands simultaneously and separately. So it's efficient, effective. Hold your sticks, palms facing up. Pull in, push out. Yeah, this is a good stretch. And then go back out the way that you came. And if you do traditional, rotate and hold her right there. And then rotate and hold her right there. Hello, good morning. Now I'm going to stretch the underside of the forearm. You could do it like this. You could do it on the pad like I did yesterday. Or if you do this on the wall, the lower you go, the deeper the stretch. You just don't want to put all your weight into it because you don't want to tear stuff. Oh, yeah. Sweet. Now we're going to stretch the top side of the forearm. You could do it one at a time like this. You could do it on your pad like I did yesterday. You could do this on the wall. The higher you go, the deeper your stretch. Again, don't put all your weight into it. Stretch it out. Now we're going to stretch thumb to thumb. Ooh-wee. Just getting nice and relaxed. Feels good. And now we're going to do here. What? Pull in, push out. I've got auto mod on. Austin, I'm not sure what your question has to do with any of that. When am I getting on Fortnite again? Not this season. It's way too buggy. If they fix the bugs next season, then maybe I'll try playing it offline again when the new season comes out. But it's not good. I'm getting shot behind walls and stuff, so not a fan of it. We're gonna massage now, so we're doing thumb on top and we're doing fingers underneath. It's not allowing you to make my joke. Then it's maybe not an appropriate joke. There's a lot of really weird stuff on Twitch, like a lot of bots and whatnot trying to sell stuff and promote inappropriate things or promote their artwork and whatnot. So I've got the auto mod set to the highest possible to try and limit that so I don't have to see that junk. But it is interesting that it's blocking stuff. Is Marvel season next? Oh, that'll be interesting. Hopefully they balance it out better, because, yeah, there's just too many items in the game that, like, break it. It's just, like, no longer of an FPS, which is, you know, a bummer. Do I like Minecraft? Yeah. We, my wife and I played it many years ago, and we're playing it off stream, enjoying it. It's good. I'm now massaging thumb on top and fingers on the backside. Oh, yeah, that's interesting that it auto-detected that. Yeah, so I keep my streams family-friendly, like myself. Sometimes the games I play are not. Like Cyberpunk, definitely not family-friendly. Ghost, have you tried Minecraft? It's a good game. It's fun. My wife agrees. We need to continue to expand our fort.
I know.
Decorate the house more.
I know, we have work to do. We got chores. We got animals to take care of. Got axolotls.
That's true.
They're murderers.
Yeah, surprisingly. I didn't realize that they would eat the other things in the pond. No, I only play single player on most of the games that I'm doing now. like Minecraft. The only person I'll team up with on Minecraft is my wife, and that's like in an offline server and whatnot. Not doing that. Hello, Austin. How you doing? Am I a fan of Stick Control by George Lawrence Stone? I think it's overrated, but it's fine. There's just like better things to work on. So like if you're on here under the tip section, like this is the book that's the like thumbnail preview for it. But when you go into it, like there's much better like drum kit books. Like if you want to work on limb independence, the New Breed 1 and 2 and like 50 Ways Syncopation is like way better. Syncopation is also better for just like chart reading. Stick Control has its uses, but like 95% of the book is like, why do you need to work on that? I'd argue you don't. But there's like other books, like for rudimental, these books are all way better. For concert snare, Mitchell Peters' book is better. Accents and Rebounds is more interesting than Stick Control. But like if you want to get into like actually more interesting stuff rather than just playing sticking patterns, then like Cerrone's book, Delacluse has multiple books. There's the 12 Etudes, the 12 Etudes. There's Kaiskeriana 1 and 2. Like those are way better. Like there's just like much more interesting stuff to play. But anyways, speaking of, we're gonna play all the way down here under the technique stuff is the rudiment zoom zooms. My wife named this set of exercises. They're funny, but they're really good ways to like work on your paradiddles, your paradiddle whatever. But we're gonna do the Flam 5 builder. So this one is going to do right hand only, and then it slowly adds in each line one left hand at a time until you get to the point where it's both hands playing Flam 5s together, and then it removes one right hand at a time. Now with every single one of these play-alongs, again, you just go into the timestamps and you can jump to a BPM. I'm going to start this at 40. Nice and slow. Oops. It's even slower than I thought. So added in another left. Now it's doing the full Flam 5s. And then it's gonna start to remove one right hand at a time. Okay, so again, starts with one hand. It slowly layers in a left hand at a time until you play both, and then it removes one hand at a time. Now, I'm just doing this for like some data collection purposes. We're not going to sit here and do this one click at a time like I'd normally do with like some of the other exercises. I'm going to go up by 5s while doing this and just see what we can do with this one. So again, timestamps in the description of all of these. There's over 1,000 play-alongs on the website. But, or on my YouTube if you'd prefer to stay there. But the goal is to get the Flam 5s to feel more comfortable, because when I'm playing them fast, the left hand's tightening up right here. So I'm trying to relax that. Added in one left. Oops. Talking always screws me up. See what I mean? Talking screws me up. Another. I need to relax my accents. That's better. Okay, let's go up by 5 again. In the timestamps. If you go to the BPMs that end with a 0 or a 5, it gives you this like 5-second little breather. It just allows you to get set up. All the other BPMs just immediately start tapping off. Yeah, I'm still trying to figure out the left hand. So when I'm playing these faster, there's a difference in my hands where my right hand, I'm feeling it more towards the base of the thumb where the contact is, but on my left hand, I'm feeling it more towards the tip of the thumb. This is like a way exaggerated version of like how I'm doing this, is like where I feel it. So I'm trying to balance them out better on here. So another thing that I'm doing that has been an issue that I'm still working on is it flattens out. So it goes more of like a Germanic technique instead of an American. So the American has like the slope. French has like thumb up so that the back of the hand is basically perpendicular to the ground, as opposed to parallel for German. And the American is kind of like as a slant in between the two. So my left hand, because I marched so many years with traditional, and now I'm doing match grip, it's still getting used to it. And so I'm trying to turn it just a little bit, so it gives us more of a slope. And I'm trying to change it so that the pressure is not here. Because when I've got the pressure on the tip, I'm feeling like different tension along the wrist in different points, like back here, and then sometimes right there. So depending on what I'm playing, those are the things that I'm focusing on while I'm doing this. And because like I'm mentally just not able to talk while playing through this, I'm not narrating out the parts that I'm working on here. But anyways. so now let's go up to 60. Let me actually see something real quick. Man, that's really weird. I was curious, like, why I couldn't see the supposed block on there on Twitch. Okay, so it should show... Yeah, I should be able to see everything, including stuff that is banned, but I don't see any of that. Huh, I wonder if it was Streamlabs that automatically did it. Because it's not showing up on Twitch. Weird. Whatever. Alright, we're at 60 now. We're slowly speeding her up. Again, normally I'd go by like ones, but right now I just want to see like how my technique changes from 5 clicks at a time, from going from 40 up to hopefully triple digits. My left hand felt better that time. It was allowing the stick to vibrate, which is a good thing. So you want it to be able to kind of like tickle your hand, so that way you're not choking off the sound when playing through it. So it was getting better with that, and the overall, like the angles and whatnot were better with the wrist. So improvement slightly. I mean, that first little Swiss drag that I played turned over. Man, my throat's been so dry lately. It's almost like I live in a desert. Weird. This time, take a little water break. Hydrate. It's important. I've been hospitalized several times for dehydration. It's usually when I'm on antibiotics. Whew, those mess me up. Doesn't matter how much I drink. I get super dehydrated. Fun fact. I'm like making so many mental mistakes this morning, which, you know, it happens. Sometimes the playing's just not as good as you want it to be. Can still practice, though. Can still refine things. Treat it as a challenge to, like, how can I push myself to play better, more consistently, even though I'm, like, tired or whatever the issue is. Hungry. Okay, so my left hand, it's feeling better from the wrist standpoint here. Like, I'm not having the issue that I was having yesterday, but I'm still, the thumb is just different than my right hand thumb. So I need to shift it back where the placement is. These are like very minor adjustments, like literally from here to here. But it's noticeable because it's different. So trying to work on that slowly. Next time I do a technique stream, maybe Thursday. I've got a conflict in the morning. I might just go by ones while playing through this instead of by fives. And we can really focus on the slow stuff. The problem is, like, if you look at it, like, just to get to, like, 80, it takes 57 minutes. Woo-wee! Could I break down this exercise? Yeah, I'll do it again. So, we're working on Flam 5s here, so... This rudiment. So what's happening is we're playing the pattern that you may have heard from, like, this was popularized by the Blue Devils way back in the day, but what is that? So we have, when you play a Flam accent, this is what your right hand is doing. Same thing when you're doing Flam 5s. So the first line is that, just the right hand. And we're simply adding in a new left hand every single measure. So right here we add in the first left hand, a grace note. Then we're adding in another left hand. Then we're adding in another left hand, which is... So we're slowly building up to a Flam 5. When it gets to the second page, it plays a whole line of Flam 5s. And then we're slowly taking away one hand at a time, the right hand in particular. So we're taking away this note, then we take away this note, then we take away this grace note, and then we finally take away the diddle on the very first note. So it's just the left hand playing. That, okay? So that's what the pattern is. And this is just the Flam 5 builder. There's also the Flam drag version, the cheese version, the Flam accent version, which doesn't have any diddles on it. And then they're not out publicly yet. They're currently members first, but there's also going to be the Flam tap and the invert, cheese invert versions coming out as well in the next, like, month or so. I don't know. There's 180 some odd videos, so I forget when they're all coming out. But they're all coming out for free. What's it called? It's called Fortnite. It's free. All right, let's try it. 80. But welcome back, Edwards. Thanks for joining in again. 85. That's a nice pop. When you stop sound, whether it's like that or when it's in like a DAW or video editing or whatever, the sound wave when it's moving, if it's not at the null point, so the middle point, because we have like the positive wave side and then the negative where it's dipping down, then it makes that popping sound. The more you know. 85. Yeah, my left hand interpretation is still off. Also, I'm like unable to process mentally the first diddle timing for whatever reason. One of those days. 90. What was it? Blue Devil's 97th spring? I had the Swiss drag, flam drag, Swiss drag, flam drag. I don't know why that's in my head, but it is. Yeah, I'm still getting a different pressure on the left thumb in particular. What program do I use to make the play along? Sibelius. And they take a very long time to make. Like the one that I warmed up with, the Slow, Fast, Slow, that took over 80 hours continuously. That does not include the export time. And it has made me 2 cents in AdSense. And that is not an exaggeration. So if you're going to make play-alongs to make money, I'd recommend doing something else. Lock clips or lessons, much easier to make money. Algorithm doesn't want us to get better. You joke, but this might be too nerdy for people who aren't interested in YouTube. So the reason why, one of the reasons why my content doesn't get shared like this is it's 2 hours and 14 minutes. Let's say you've been playing for like 4 years. You might be able to play this at, I don't know, 140 and be comfortable with it. That percentage of time that you'd actually spend practicing this, though, might be like 10 minutes. 10 minutes is the first 5 clicks on here. So that is such a small portion of time. If we go to... Actually, here's a pro tip. If you're on YouTube and you click one of the numbers on your keyboard, like 1, this shows you where 10% is, 30%. Let's say you get 30% through the video. This will put you at 55 beats a minute practicing on here. YouTube's going to look at this and go, but this is 2 hours long. Clearly you don't like the video, and they won't recommend you the content. So one of the things that I'm fighting against with like these resources is I don't expect like people to play grid variations at like 160 or 200 beats a minute, etc. And you might only spend 5 minutes with it, which is a great 5 minutes well spent on practicing, but 5 minutes on here is less than 10% of the amount of time. So it's probably like, what, 4%-ish, something like that? Just 5 minutes of practicing. So the thing that YouTube used to focus on was the click-through rate, which is why people would have clickbait titles. And the titles would be just like, have nothing to do with what you're doing, or really exaggerated thumbnails. But then people click on it and go, this is not what I want. And they'd move away like within the first 5 seconds because it just wasn't very good. And so hence the term clickbait. YouTube saw that and was like, that's not what we want. We want people to stay on here so they'll stay in a video and be able to get served mid-roll ads, etc., and want to stay on our platform and not go to like Netflix or other things. So they've made a switch in their algorithm so that it focuses on like percentage of watch time. So like, how much are you watching on here? So if you're practicing with this, let's say you use like 5 of these resources on here, you might spend like an hour working on it, but each one of them, you might only spend like 5 to 10 minutes actually practicing through it. But that's such a small percentage of the total video that YouTube just assumes, well, you must not have liked it, right? Because otherwise you would have watched the whole thing, because these are set up as tools as opposed to like educational, where you like would want to be able to watch the whole thing. Like you physically might not be able to play this at like 160 and above. So you'll never get to the last like 20, 30 minutes of a video on here. So because of that, what I try and do is like with these live streams is I'll kind of answer questions, or I'll create some scripted videos that answer questions, and I share those, and hopefully that catches people's attention, which points to these. So people want to use it. I can't speak. Which is why if you see other play-along YouTube channels, which there are, they will skip by like 10 or 20 beats a minute, and they'll have it very short. So it's only like a 5-minute play-along, and it doesn't give you this full range. And they're doing that for the money, which is fine. Like, get that bag, go for it. But because I wanted to make these like focus on the educational side of things, we go up 1 click at a time, because I think that is absurdly valuable compared to going up 10 or 20 clicks. It just doesn't allow you to get better at it. But they're able to share their content more widely than like these resources. So I rely quite a bit on like word of mouth, people being able to share this stuff. What are some games of drumline could play team building or for practical reasons? I honestly didn't really focus on that when I was teaching. So as like a teacher, I had to do a bunch of icebreakers and like other team building stuff, and like every teacher I ever worked with hated it, including me. So I didn't really focus on those. So I don't have a great answer. It's a great question. It's just there are more people who are better able to answer that than I, and I want to make sure that I like only speak about stuff that I'm confident with, that I have experience with. So we didn't really do that much. What we would do is make sure we like ate together like at band camp. So like everybody would like get together like for lunch, or the drumline would sometimes have like movie nights with each other where they'd like get together and just like hang out. Or when I was marching, like we would have sectional time, and then downtime we'd hang out as sectionals, or we'd sit together on the bus as a sectional. And so like those were the opportunities to kind of like build the friendships and whatnot. We also, during the stretch blocks, where we would do like 10, 20 minutes of stretching before we'd actually like start moving on the field, we would spend that time just kind of like talking about like, hey, how's everybody doing? Like, what's going on? And just kind of goof around a little bit while in the middle of a stretch. So that's where we focused on that, but we didn't actually do any of the like ice building or ice breaking games and whatnot. Add the previous question, how do you make the play-alongs in bulk? If one takes 8 hours to make? Oh, I was saying that one took 80 hours to make. But one of the things you'll notice for some of these play-alongs is they're all 40 to 200, and that makes it a little bit easier for me because I'm able to go in and modify that one rather than creating like a brand new one from scratch. Like this one's going to be from 50 BPM to 180, etc. So that helps, but it's still like, even with all these systems that I have in place to set it up to make it so that it goes faster, it takes forever. How much space on the hard drive do you have with these types of videos? The videos themselves are relatively small files. They're like, I don't know, 200, 400 megabytes, which is like not bad at all. And the file itself is like pretty small as well. I forget how many they are. It's on my other computer. This is like the streaming computer that I use, but the gaming one is like the one where I do all the video editing, the gaming, etc. But that's a good question. Drumline could do a jam session where one person lays down a beat and everyone joins in. Oh yeah, that's a good one as well, Edwards. I like that. So building off of what you're asking on YouTube, one of the things that we would do is improvise. So people would just like lay down a beat and you kind of like trade fours. So like somebody would just kind of solo on top of it, and then somebody else would solo, and then somebody else would solo, and you just keep like passing that down the line. That is a good way to do that. It doesn't necessarily build like the social cohesion and whatnot, but it does. Thank you, TikTok, for that notification. It does like just make it so that people are more comfortable performing in front of other people. The copying one's an interesting idea. I'd sometimes do that to just work on their ears. So I would turn my back to the drum line so they couldn't see what I was playing, and I'd play like a pattern with a metronome, and then they'd copy that back. So I'd do a measure, then they repeat that back. And so that was a way to just kind of like develop the ears. But here you go. Oops. Okay, I'm just like mentally not able to play this right now. Nick, to add on to what I was saying, now like for one play along, what you're asking about, like I can finish if it's very similar to another one. I can make the adjustments in under an hour, but then I still have to export it, which takes a while, and then have to like update all of the like the thumbnails and create all the other stuff for it. So like a couple hours minimum for each one of the thumbnails. But the very first like time I set this up, it took me a month just to set up one of these, because like the play along that I was working on earlier, that one's several thousand pages long just to be able to go through that. And then this one, like any one of these are like 1,000+ pages of like the Sibelius files. So it takes forever just to set up that very first one. And you got to have quite the rig to be able to work on it. Sometimes when I get like just like copy and paste like a measure, it will literally take 2 minutes just to paste a single measure when there's so many pages on it. For whatever reason, tuplets, like if you do a triplet or like a fivelet or whatever, pasted in Sibelius, the further down you go on the pages, the longer it takes. So it gets exponentially longer to actually adjust each one of these. Some of them, what I'll end up doing is I'll just like copy and paste like a measure, and I will literally walk away from my computer, go work on chores, or I will have it on like the other stream computer rather, and I will just paste it over there and then start working on like video editing on something else. And then I'll go and look over and go, okay, is it pasted? Finally, it's pasted. And then I'll paste the next measure I think on, or whatever it is that I'm working on. So they take forever to do that. I should stream myself making these. I don't know if that would be interesting. Like I thought about like I could stream like how I work on like video editing for the gaming stuff. Like some of the edits, the ways that I do it, are like some fun little tips and tricks that you can do. But I just don't know if that would be interesting to watch. Like I usually just put on Netflix or put on a podcast and just sit there and grind these out. So that way it's not so boring when I write these out. Let's play Float Drags with Flam 5, since, you know, we're just playing Flam 5s. So we'll chop out here. Woo! And then we will get set up for some Minecraft, which I haven't played in, like a week. It's been a while. It's been a while. Let's start off at 130. And let's turn this down. Apparently it's way louder. Why? I don't know. Let's go faster than we should. Why? Because it's fun. 140. This isn't faster than we should yet. Stay tuned. We'll get there. How come I don't use MuseScore? Sibelius is better. I've also been using it for a long time. I used to use Finale in high school. Oops. Yeah, so I used to use Finale in high school and my undergrad, and then I was the battery arranger for a WGI group, and that the front ensemble arranger was using Sibelius, and I was like, okay, I'll go with you. That's fine. Whoops, I just did it at 140 because like he was also like a composer for the LA Phil or something like that. Some very fancy orchestra in Los Angeles, and yeah, so he used Sibelius, so I switched over to that, and I was like, this is actually easier than Finale, so I just kind of stuck with it, and I've been using it ever since. But for college, they like made us take a class on writing, so that helped. But yeah, comfort. Also, it's just like I'm comfortable with it. It's just it's better for being able to export out higher quality stuff with better quality sounds and customization. This might be the breaking point. Oh, we got another pop. Boop. Okay. So I'm starting to tense up here a little bit on the left. Should refine that more. Okay, it's hard to play with these Hardeman hammers. Woo-wee. They're chop burners. My hands are like, you can stop now. Can't stop, won't stop. We're going to try it at 180. My wife is on standby with a fire extinguisher, ready to go. Well, we tried. That's what matters, right? If you're on YouTube, you just want to go to the home tab. So if you go here, boop. Here, home tab. Click on the drumming header one. Or if you're into the gaming stuff, click on the header for that, or the computer science stuff. The point is, because I have over 1,000 like free play-alongs and whatnot, and several hours of tips, you want to click here so you can see all of just the drumming playlists. Or go to the link, top of the screen if you're on vertical, right there, /drum. We've reorganized the header so it's cleaner. Ooh. And it's got 53 chop exercises, 372 grid variations, 514 16th grid variations. Got a bunch of limb independent stuff like 55 drum charts, 166 marching bass exercises, 117 technique exercises, several hours of drumming tips in this one playlist right here, and some lessons, as well as all the prior live streams. I'm going to add in timestamps on here, the things that I work on, just like I do for every one of these practice streams, and you can check them out here. I'm going to tear this down and get ready for some Minecraft, and we're going to try and not get exploded by a creeper today, but no promises, because those guys are jerks. We've had so many moments, I'm just like, la, 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 then all of a sudden they just like drop in and no warning. Death. So, you know, they're quite rude. I appreciate the questions. Good questions today. Austin, if you stop by again in Twitch, make sure you keep it family friendly. It's interesting that Twitch auto-modded it, but the fact that you came in the first time and are making inappropriate jokes, I can see why Twitch moderated that automatically. So, just FYI. But anyways, I appreciate y'all. If you enjoy this content, share it with other people. Use it, whatever. But I'm going to call it here. Thank you for the like on TikTok.